As promised, I want to do a short video on how we are installing our row cover. We put the row cover on that one a few days ago, and this one I'm finally getting around to. Now in the meantime, we had a kind of a rip-roaring thunderstorm came through here, oh gosh, back last Tuesday I think, and I came home and the row cover was pretty much flattened. So my clips that I'm going to show you are not severe thunderstorm proof. It was really high winds and just a torrential downpour for a short amount of time, so it's understandable that the clips let loose, but it flung the clips all over the place. But anyways, if a person's serious about wanting to secure the row cover to something like our raised beds that have a nice 1-inch thick lip around the outside on that rim, you could go with a spring clamp. Now they make, these are 99 cents a piece, but these are pretty heavy metal ones. And they make smaller plastic ones that would, I think survive the season. Now, if you're interested in really securing that thing. So anyways, that's just another option. Now the other thing is, we don't secure these hoops in any way other than sticking them down into the ground. And if you want to, I can show you here in a bit, you can just use a bracket and a couple of screws, and it's just a simple matter of screwing them in so they're rock solid. But I attached already the row cover on the one side. So we're just going to drape it over and for this raised bed, you measure from the bottom up and over and around. It's about 14 feet of row cover, and this is 10 feet wide, so it's wider than it needs to be. But I'm just going to secure it on the ends here first. Now what I'm using is 1-inch black poly waterline that I cut to about 1.5 inch lengths. These I did on the bandsaw, but you can also cut them out using just a tubing cutter, which is a handy thing to have. Now the tubing cutter, I use that to cut my slit. Now it's just quick and easy ratcheting system to cut a slit in there. And then what I'd like to do, maybe it's because I'm a little bit cheap or resourceful, I want this stuff to kind of last. I really don't want to be throwing this out, sending it to the landfill after a season. It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to try to take care of it and use it for multiple seasons. I know it's the thin stuff, so it's not terribly durable, but in order to do that, to try to help it along a little bit, these corners that are kind of sharp plastic, I just take a little side cutter and just bevel them. And then I just hold it open and just snap it in place like that. So we'll do that all the way around. To secure the ends, it's a little bit like gift wrapping a big awkward Christmas package or something. I just start in the center. And it's kind of handy that this stuff, it's folded in half when you get it, so it has a seam going right down the center, so you can kind of center it. And then I just take the corner material and just kind of fold it over on itself like that. Just kind of fold it over, and it's good enough. Now that one's been on, besides the thunderstorm and the torrential rain, it's withstood some really windy days here and stuff. It's stayed on just fine just using these clips. Now some people will want to secure it more permanently, either using the spring clamps or even putting a batten across the top and screwing it down or something more elaborate. I like the ease and portability of these things. I can just unclip them easily and flip the thing over and access it and get in and do some watering or inspecting. You know, which reminds me, I came out a few days ago, and you know when you start tomato plants, especially from seed, and you've been nurturing them since April, and you have these nice healthy plants, and then you come out and a cutworm has them just laying flat. Oh, dang it. And it's only because I hauled in a bunch of chopped leaves that were wet and been up there since last fall and stuff, and I got a cutworm in there with it. So anyways, just as a little aside here, what I did is I just took some 3/4 inch poly tubing, and I just cut a slit in it like that, and then you're able to open it up, slip it around that tomato stem, and then close it back up and stick it down into the soil a 1/2 inch or so you have a collar over them. I went ahead and did that to all the other tomato plants in there. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens this summer. Compare these with what's growing in the hoop house. While I have you here, I just installed these. These are my mini beds. I figure since most of the growth in these is vertical, up one of our arbors, there's no need for a big 4x8 raised bed. So these are just, oh gosh, what are they about? You know, they're roughly a foot on the inside, and then they're a foot high, and then they're the width of the inside of the arbors. But I just wanted to show you, in case you're wanting something more permanent for your raised bed for attaching the hoops, you can just go that route with a bracket. And then the other thing, for anyone who's watched the video on how I made this is one of my first ones, but I stuck 1/2 inch PEX tubing on the inside, which was kind of a pain because, you know, they don't really fit, and that was my connector. Well, since then, you know, with age finally becomes wisdom, and I just went with just the 1/2 inch connectors, and this was the very first arbor I made, hence the gap at the top. You know, since then they're a lot more durable. But anyways, this is all you need. Makes a perfect connector, removable. So that's enough for today. So this is Mark again with Backwood Basics, and let's grow together.